Hey guys, and welcome back. In today's video, it's going to be a little different. We are at Petra's Wine and Dine, and we're going to take you behind the scenes as to how this establishment started, what can you expect in the future, and just the story behind it all. We're going to introduce you to the owner of this lovely establishment. So if you are interested, stay tuned to the rest of this video. I promise you it's going to be a very motivational video, inspiring and encouraging, and the food, the experience and the vibe to die for. Stay tuned. So now with that being said, I want to know who is Petra, right? Who is Petra?
Okay. Like, I am Petra.
Yes.
Okay, I am Petra.
Nice to meet you, Petra.
Thank you. And all this work came from Petra.
Right.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And I love what I do. I love cooking.
Mm-hmm.
I love cooking. I started cooking as a child.
How old?
Maybe about 10 or so, my grandfather was a fisherman. So we'd go on the beach, little kids, and he would give us the little fish.
Right.
So we'd clean them and start to cook them in the little pans and stuff on the little wood outside, And that's how I love cooking, And I grew up, I never learned to cook anyway. And I had a restaurant and a young lady walked up to me and she said, "Who taught you to cook?" I'm like, "Myself." And she said, "Yourself? And you could do such an amazing job?" I thought, well, I love it. I do it with passion. I do it with love, And I think I would say, if you're not a cook, don't open a restaurant. I could advise anybody for that.
Why?
Let me tell you why. Supposing today, you're my cook, you're my chef, and you say to me, "You know what? I got another opportunity, so I'm leaving right away." So that means my restaurant will have to close because I have to look for somebody and all that. Another thing, if you fall sick, how do I do this? So I want to make sure I could fill in everywhere. When I opened the cafe at VG, I worked there for a whole year, cooking all by myself until I feel I could have paid somebody, and that's how I started to climb up there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. So when did you open up the cafe at VG? How long ago
In
was that?
2018.
2018.
Yes.
Okay. And you mentioned that you had a restaurant, your first restaurant.
Yes.
Was that the cafe at VG?
No.
So can you tell me about your very first restaurant? How old were you? What was that like? Because you mentioned your love for cooking starting off at the age of 10.
Yes.
So when did you decide to open up your new restaurant?
Well, it was tough because while growing up, I had a baby at the age of 16, and while growing up, I decided I need to do this. So I started working in the restaurant, in the hotels and stuff. And I always knew I wanted to do my own business, So then I started with a shop, but I know that wasn't my thing because I love to cook. And that same shop, I turned it into a restaurant, That's at BC. That is where I started. Okay. But it was not Petra's Cafe because I have not come out with that name as yet.
So what was it then?
It was just a restaurant.
Just a restaurant?
It was just a restaurant because...
So you just started basically.
I just started basically.
Right.
I just started.
Right.
And it really didn't have a name. So it was just everybody know Petra, and we had Actel in BC. So all the folks from there would come and eat by me. They like the food, and stuff like that. And that's where I really,
Okay. So it's really given like gradual step by step and growth.
Even when I built my house, it was like the banks will not give small business owners a loan. And working in the hotel too, the salaries that you work for would not give me this house.
Yeah.
So what am I going to do? So I decide now, guess what I'm going to do? I did not have the property as yet. I didn't know how I was going to buy it, but I decided to make blocks, my bricks. So I went, I bought a mold to make the blocks. And then now I'm buying all the materials, and every day I am making like 10 blocks myself personally. I am making the blocks.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm going to work, and then I get back home, and every time I get paid, I'm making blocks. I'm buying the materials and I'm making blocks. So by the time I got to that point and I'm looking at 3,000 blocks, I have no land, nothing to build the houses yet. I have the kids small, they're going to the convent, and then now I have to feed them every day. I'm making blocks, I'm working night and day, you know. So when my sister said to me, I know this guy that have the land and stuff like that, let's go, I'll take you there. Let me tell you, girl, there's not $1 in my bank account or even in my pocket, nothing.
I love this. I absolutely love this. Wow.
So I'm going out there and say, hey, I actually looking for a piece of land but to rent. I cannot buy it now. I cannot afford it. And I met the owner of this property.
Yes.
But I met his father. At the time, the father was alive. And he said to me, you see on the hill up there? All this is my property. Yeah? But then now, I cannot sell or rent to you until I do the road. The only thing you could do for me, if you could get the government to get me to 5 lots to sell, I will give you yours at a better price.
Wow.
Girl, and I start to walk with my one shoes on my feet. And I would walk up and down at planning and to go until when they released the land for him and I got the piece of property.
That's wow.
So I built this house with no money. So I want people out there to know it is not always the money. It's first the Almighty and your mind.
What were some of like the challenges that you may have faced? Because life is not easy.
No.
Let's be real. And normally we tend to see persons who are on top the ladder, so successful, but we don't know what they have really been through, what that experience was like. Because listening to you right now, that's like a lot of determination, that's a lot of focus, that's a lot of discipline. And I struggle with that, to be honest with you. And most importantly, even with just having anxiety and self-doubt, like how did you overcome those obstacles?
Well, for one, I like to pray.
I love that.
Let me tell you, I am a really, let me tell you, hardcore praying person, and I always go to God. Yeah? He is who I depend on for my strength. So I always go to him, and I always find this place in my vision where I can actually meet with him, you know, and I speak to him and I ask him. And there's something that happens to me. If something is going to happen and it's not positive, I'm going to get a strong heartbeat, like a fear inside. Once I get that fear, be careful, this is not going to work. Something is wrong. And when I decide, anything I decide to do and I get this, I don't do it.
Wow.
Because it's telling me no.
That's so interesting that you would say that, because it's like, I feel like in that case, you use fear to your advantage and you don't let it control you. Okay.
Yes.
And that's what a lot of us do with the anxiety and whatnot. And I guess that's why persons don't really go after their goals and dreams, because again, like you mentioned, you had no idea of how you were going to get this. This was
no idea.
Faith from your son when he mentioned to you, Mommy, you should buy this place.
Yes.
And you're like, boy, what are you talking about?
Yes.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, buy this place. Are you mad? Buy this place. I couldn't even think of even renting this place, far as buying this place, because there was never a thought in my mind. You know?
Okay. So what advice would you give to an young, inspiring individual wanting to establish their business? And it doesn't even have to be like a restaurant, just generally in life, because I never would have been such a beautiful story again. And I mean, from a beautiful establishment, like, so what advice would you give to?
Okay, my advice out there to young people, it's okay to fall, is how well you rise. It's okay. You know how many times I fall
Tell
and how
me.
many times I rise?
Tell me.
It's like every time I fall, I would pray about it. I'm never disappointed. I go back and look for people. Okay, so I went to the hotel. I take a leap of faith, and I opened this place in BC, like I told you. It didn't work out. I had to go back in the hotel, but it's okay. I can tell anybody. Age is a number. No matter how old you are, and you think you can do it now, do it. Because yes, you will fall. Yes, you will fall. Unless you have a real strong backbone that will not allow you to fall. But if you're going to do it on your own, like me, you're going to start from there with your pennies. Remember, there's a possibility that you will fall. And it's okay, it's fine. Just don't stay there. Don't just say, oh my God. Never let people feel sorry for you. Don't do that.
Don't let people feel
Don't
sorry.
let people feel sorry for you.
Why?
It's like a lot of people like to say, poor job, because how many of those people that say poor job for you, that when you rise, they are happy for you? Because in this life, nobody wants to see you have more than them or like them. They always want to make sure that you are below. I'm telling you. So I'm not just saying that, I'm speaking from experience. So you have to do it for you. It's just like they're going to tell you, do not look for love from anybody else, look for it from you. Well, it's the same way. Yeah, look for it from you. And if you can do that, and always speak to God. Always speak to God, because He is the one that will strengthen you. Always do that. Have a relationship with your God, because anything you say to Him, it's going to stay right there. You may tell me, and I may have another best friend, and I will tell the other best friend what you said to me. And guess what? Your stories are all over the place. But when you tell it to God, it stays with Him. He's the only one that can help you. Just have faith. Yeah, just have faith. And imagine when I was doing this place, right? It came along where I have that vision a long time ago, since I was about maybe 21, 22. I wanted something like this, but I never had the opportunity to do it. Financially, I couldn't. And I didn't have the support. I have my daughter that always supports me. She lives in the States, Toya. But she used to say to me, Mommy, I know you have VG. I know I don't want your health to, so I would prefer if you just stayed at VG for now until I think you can do something else. So I didn't want her to know I was doing this place. So I went behind her back, I cheated, and I did. And one day I sent her a picture. She's like, what's this? So the building was in blue. Right? Yes. She said, so I explained to her, she said, Mommy, you actually went and do this? So she said, okay, you did it already, so here it is. The blue is not good. The blue makes it look cheap. She's that kind of a person. So I said, so what you want me to do? She said, no, the blue is just not good. If you're going to do something, you're going to do it right. So I didn't say anything to her. I just went, I bought paint, and I changed the whole building. So the whole building was already in blue, but then I took down the whole blue and I put it in this color.
Right. And that's like red and white, right?
It's actually a stain and white and stain, kind of reddish stain.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then now then I decide, you know what, to design the building now. I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this. I can do this.
Okay.
And then while the building is building, I'm designing. Wow. So I am designing the building while the building is going along and put together.
Okay. You mentioned that in starting, before you got here, it was very tough for you financially, right?
Yeah.
You did not see a way, you did not know. and you are at a place of just, I guess, uncertainty. Like, how can you take me back to this point, and how were you able to make that possible? Because I know it was with faith, but just can you walk me through that process in that frame of like, okay, so I want this business here. I know what it means. I know what I want to. How? Just can you just take me through?
Yeah.
That?
Okay. Like you know, there's Petras Cafe,
Yes.
right? Down at VG.
Yes.
So it was always my vision to have Petras Cafe. It was never Petras Wine and Dine. It was always Petras Cafe because of the name Petra.
Yes.
Yeah. So me having another business, it would have been Petras Cafe also. But then I decided I want to do fine dining. Yeah.
Yes.
That is the reason why the name became Petras Wine and Dine.
Right.
So that's where the name came from. Financially, I couldn't do it.
Yes.
Yeah. In the beginning, there was no way I could have done something like this. I don't even believe I actually did this. Yeah.
It's very beautiful too.
Yes.
Right.
Now, but me, I don't drink and I don't smoke, and I always tell people I have a vision.
Yes.
So my kids would say, "Mommy, you don't get bored?" I'm like, "Why?" Because you go to work and then you come home and you sit by the television, you have no friends and everything. I say, I do have acquaintances, but when it comes to home, I just want my peace. That's where I get my peace from, my home. But I have a friend that owned this property, and I went to him and I said, what do you think of renting this a lot for me? And he said, yeah, sure. I mean, I just said it.
Right.
And he was like, sure.
Okay.
But when I look at the place, it was a total disaster. Yeah, because it was a building that got burned down and stuff, so I had to do a lot of renovations. Yeah. So I decided, well, okay, I'm going to do this without knowing where the money is going to come from.
Right.
Yeah. So what I did was I used Petras Cafe to get this place organized. Another reason for that too is because when you are self-employed, the banks do not entertain you. Trust me.
Because it's very difficult, especially in today's climate, in the
Yes.
economy and stuff like that.
Yeah. And even before, I find the banks are not very supportive to small business people. Yeah. That's why a lot of people go to the credit union. However, I decide, you know what, I'm going to take a leap of faith and I'm going to do this. And since I know Reggie said to me, like I told you, Mommy, why don't we buy this place? And I was like, why don't we buy this place? You know, because I mean, he's young and you don't know, you think, okay, maybe I can just snap my finger and say, let's buy it, you know? Right. So maybe that's what I think, you know? So I decide, okay, because of him. So when I told the owner of the place that because he was looking for him, my son, he said to me, true? I tell him, yes. The boy just came up to me and said, why don't we own this place? Why don't we buy it? So for me, I am doing this in his memory. I am doing this because it will become part of my heart, you know, because he is part of my heart.
So, with that being said, tell me more about your restaurant, right? What are you offering and what our audience can expect?
Okay, let's start from Petras Cafe.
Yes.
Okay, at Petras Cafe, we do buffet down there. So we have actual local food. So on a daily basis, we may have macaroni and cheese, ground provisions, maybe seasoned rice. We have stew lamb or stew pork, stew turkey. Then we have the fish. We have it grilled or fried. We have the different peas and stuff like that, beans and stuff like that. So at Petras Cafe, it's different. We serve breakfast at Petras Cafe. Yeah, so we open from 6:30 in the morning. We serve breakfast, then we go to lunch. For lunch, we have the buffet. Yeah, where you come and you choose whatever you want and stuff like that. We close at 8 actually in the night. But for here, which is Petra's Wine and Dine, we have a set menu.
Okay.
See? We have an actual set menu. So when you walk in, we give you our menu and you order from the menu. So we have a variety of starters. You come in and you just want something light, you can get a starter. We have onion rings, we have calamari rings, we have chicken fingers.
Okay.
For our main course, like I said, we try to keep it simple. So we have seafood mix, lobby, we have octopus, red snapper, shrimp, salmon, lobster in season, pork loins, boneless chicken, and we also have baby back ribs. So that's our main course. We have wine. You can get a glass of wine for $15, $20, a glass of wine, and we also have the bottles of wine. We have a lot of cocktails. Pina colada is one of our main cocktail. Reason for that because a lot of people like pina colada, but we have a variety of cocktails. The stage out there, we have that for small events. You want to keep a small wedding reception, a birthday party, we can cater for that. The biggest thing for me is customer service. I want to make sure my customers are happy. I want to make sure when they leave here, they feel the money was well spent and the time.
Wow, that is who Petra is.
That is who Petra is.
Wow! Again, nice to meet you, Petra.
Yes. Thank you. So for me, it doesn't stop there. There's more.
I love that, Petra, and I really look forward to seeing what that more is, seeing that growth. That story that you just took us through is really amazing. It's inspiring, it is encouraging, it is motivational, and I really thank you for the time and that blessing that you have given me with the exchange of knowledge.
Amen to that. Yes. Thank you so much. But thanks for coming. I really appreciate you guys. You know, taking my story out there. I appreciate that.
It's a beautiful story.
Yes, and I just want the message I want to send out there. I just want people to know that you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it, and it's okay to fall.
It's okay to
It's how well you rise.
faith, guidance, and God.
Yes,
Thank
just
you,
put God
Petra.
first.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, just put Him first.
Thank you.
Hey guys, and thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video as much as I did. It's amazing to see how Petra started off with absolutely nothing. However, she kept her faith, she believed in God, and she had that confidence. And I really hope that this video inspired you as much as it did for me. And I promise you, there'll be more content like this coming out soon. We have something big coming up next. So if you do like this content, like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for the next one. Bye.